Hello, today we're going to be recording in an actual recording studio, so I get to leave this room a little bit. We're recording at Superfly Studios in Ollerton, near where we live. It's a fantastic studio, they're doing great things, especially in the British blues scene. They've got loads of great albums coming from there, and that's what we're doing today. So I thought, first of all, I'd show you some of the equipment that I'm using. I think I'm just going to focus on the snare drums, and then I'll talk about the cymbals while we're there, because I'm taking so many cymbals, it's unbelievable. It's going to be quite an intense day, I think. Last time we did this, it's for James Manners again, but this is his actual album recording, and this is the second session that we're doing for the album. The first one, we managed to do 8 songs, 8 of the rhythm tracks. Me and the bass player Mikey did 8 of the songs in one day. It was mad. It was a really, really intense but really cool day. You know, when it all comes together, it happened so good, and I think we're expecting the same thing again today. We've all been playing together for ages, so we can kind of read each other quite well. You know, it's when you've been playing with a band for a long time, you get used to what they do, you get used to their feel, and I know the music that he's been listening to lately, I know what kind of stuff he's into, so it should be a lot of fun. So I think, first of all today, I'm just going to show you the snare drums that I'm going to be using today. As I said, cymbal wise, I'm taking so many that it'd take me an hour's video just to show you the cymbals that I'm choosing and why. But obviously that'll chop and change throughout the day, so I might talk about it a little bit more later. But as for the snare drums, I'm going to take 5. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm taking 5 snare drums, and this is what I did last time. We switched the snare drums and cymbals for each song. And last time I used my own kit, this time I'm using their house kit. Their house kit's awesome. They've got a beautiful, I think it's from the 70s, a Ludwig kit. Lovely orange sparkle finish on it. It's a great kit to record on. And the engineer there is a genius. He knows how to get such a good sound out of that kit. It's always good to play it. I did a recording session for somebody else a little bit ago and used their kit. And he's also got his own collection of lovely snare drums and cymbals that I can use as well. So I may well do that and use some of theirs, but I'll keep you updated on that throughout the day. I'm going to be turning up fashionably late because I've got an important meeting this morning. I can't say anything about that, but it's just a little meeting, nothing exciting. So I'll be turning up late. The guys will be getting there at 9 and I won't be there till 11 because my meeting's at 10. But I've got to come to the studio early to pack up all my gear ready so that I can go straight away. So that's what I'm doing here today. Cool, right, I'll talk you through these snare drums. Snare drum number 1, as always, trusty Pearl Omar Hakim signature. Gorgeous snare drum, 13 inches. I'm not sure what wood it is, I think it might be walnut. Signature series, it's got serial number. It records beautifully. Got a funny story about this snare drum as well, where I got it from and everything. I'll do that on another video. But this is my go-to. I don't do anything without this snare drum being there because this sounds great at every single tuning. You can do it really, really high pitched, really low. Where's my voice ringing on the snares? Sorry. I don't know why I'm holding it up like this, man. I was going to be tired before I even started. Yeah, this is my go-to snare drum. It is such a versatile, beautiful snare drum. I absolutely love it. That is snare drum number 1. Snare drum number 2, DW Collector Series Maple, again 13 inch. And as I said, I think I said it in another video, this is slowly becoming one of my favourite snare drums to use. Again, it's like the Omar Hakim where it's just beautiful at every tuning range. It's really, really good. The only problem I found with it is 2 of the lugs, oh sorry for all the noise, 2 of the lugs on this side come loose when you're playing a lot of rim shots. But I've got some tuna fish lug locks that I'll use today, and that'll stop that happening once I've got it in a nice tuning. So again, versatile, they're my two snare drums. Sorry. They're my two snare drums. I'm getting good at this filming malarkey, aren't I? Those are the two snare drums that I would definitely always take now to any recording, because they're great. They're beautiful at every single setting, any genre. They play really well. The black metal song was actually recorded on that DW snare. I mean, obviously they sampled over it, obviously, because my drums aren't set for that, but it's still there in the background, and I've used it on a lot of recordings here at my studio, so that'll be going with me, and I really enjoy using it. It's lovely, really nice. Snare drum number 3 is a Tama Birch Bubinga 14-inch. Look at that finish. That's the beauty of a drum, isn't it? I bought this drum off a really nice guy. He was selling this and some other stuff. He actually sold me some hi-hats as well. The K 14-inch light hi-hats. And I've just sold them back to him, because he sold them to me, and they were originally bought to him by his grandmother. So he messaged me and said, I don't suppose there's any chance, I know it's a bit off, but is there any chance I could buy them back off you? And of course I had to say yes, you can't say no to that, can you? So I sold them back. But I still got this snare drum. This snare drum was great in the deal. And it's just a lovely standard wood snare drum. Very, very nice. If you notice, the other two snare drums are 13-inch. I thought I'd better just take a 14-inch wood snare drum, just in case I do need. I know the others, I said the others sound great, but 14-inch, just if I need a little bit more of a thud rather than the high-pitched stuff. The 13-inch ones crack a lot better, and they do tune low really nicely. But it's always nice to have lots of different choices while I'm in there. So this 14-inch snare drum, I'm going to have it tuned quite a lot lower than the others, just so that I can put it on when I need it. And it'll be like a mid-range. If you think about the DW one being for more high-end, this one being for more mid-range. I'll show you another one in a minute that's great for really low tunings. The Omar Hakim one is versatile and does everything. And then I've got one more that's a bit specialist, that's a bit weird. But yeah, this one, 14-inch Tama Birch Bubinga Star Classic. Lovely drum. That's snare drum number 3. Snare 4. This one is wicked. I bought this off a friend of mine, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something. And I can remember him using it back in the day. And I always loved how it sounded. I never thought he'd sell it. And he just messaged me saying, oh, would you like to buy this snare drum? Of course, collect snare drums, don't I? So I was like, yep, of course. I'll come bring you the money now. And I got it back to the studio and tried it. And I cranked it really high. And I couldn't believe the sound it made. I was so happy. I recorded myself playing it and I had to send it to him, and I said, mate, why have you sold this? And I think he was regretting it already. It is so nice, but very specialist. This snare drum works so good, tuned really, really, really high. If you think like that Steve Jordan crack on the really high-end stuff, perfect. And it is a PDP, so not the most expensive, concept maple snare drum. 14-inch, and it's got the wood hoops. PDP Pacific, I think they're called PDP now. This is the original one, the older one, the Pacific. Yeah, it's maple, lovely natural finish on it. I love the lugs. It's like quite a classy, cool snare drum, but because of the rims, because of the wood hoops, you have to have your snare drum stand really wide to fit it on. But honestly, the noise this makes, I've just taken this because I know James, last time, like one of the songs, I used a little tiny 10-inch snare drum. This album's all about experimenting with different sounds and getting cool sounds, especially from the drums. You know, he's a big fan of like Aaron Sterling and things like that, where they really experiment with the sounds. And that's what we've been doing. That's why I'm taking so many snare drums and things. And as I said before, I've got the ones at the studio there that I can use as well. But I'm hoping this one's going to shine through at some point. It is gorgeous, but super, super, super high pitched. It's really, really good, really cracky. Can't get enough of it. So that is snare drum number 4. And last but not least, snare drum number 5. Now with me, I'm not bothered about brands. I don't care how expensive your snare drum is. If you've got a DW Edge or whatever, keep it. I don't care. I'm into sounds. If a drum sounds good, you'll notice when I'm recording, I don't necessarily put fresh heads on like everyone says you should. I don't care. If it sounds good, it's getting used. And this next snare drum is proper cheap, really nasty. I mean, you've seen the snare drums I'm using. Some of them are quite expensive. This one isn't. This one is really, really, really cheap. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it really wasn't much. It was probably like off a car boot sale or something. And on the last time we recorded, this snare drum was the star of the show. We called it the secret weapon. It got played on one of the tracks with sticks and then another track with brushes. And it was the perfect sound that I was looking for on that day. And I just took it on the off chance because I just take things that I enjoy. You know, I've been doing it quite a while now, doing a lot of recording. And you kind of get to know what sounds you like and what things you want. And we put this one on, and the guys in the band and the engineer couldn't believe it. It was, well, it's mad because it looks like nothing. Last time I took a load of snares. I took different ones than this one. Like I said, we're going for different sounds and things, so I think I took, the only one that would have been the same would be the Omar Hakim. Like I said, I take that one everywhere. And then this one, or the other 3 were different ones last time. I took the big Mapex rock snare, a 10-inch little popcorn snare. Oh, and I've got a vintage Slingerland that I took last time that didn't get used. But this one got used twice. And I've got to take it again because they'll have a go at me if I don't bring it. And as I said, not expensive, but star of the show for me. Out of all these snare drums, if I had to take one to this recording session, it'd be this one. Other than the Omar Hakim, as I said, got to take that. Can't leave that home without it. But if I had to take another one, it would be this one. Oh, look at that. It's a Jugs percussion. Don't make them anymore. Look. Tapes up on the top, the chrome's going on it, it's all got little rusty spots on it. I'm not sure if you can see that, dusty, and it doesn't matter because this snare drum for the low end stuff is a beast. It's really deep, not sure how deep it is. I think it's like maybe 7 inches. It's a 14 by 7 probably. I'll have to measure it, I don't know. But it is a beauty, and like I said, this was the star of the show on the last recording. We used it and it couldn't have gone better. I couldn't believe how good it sounded. It was honestly like a revelation. That really low end that you're after, this has got it all day long. It's beautiful. So maybe I'll get to use it again today and show you, we'll see. And that's it for the snare drums. I'm going to show you some of the other stuff that I take as well. There might be people on here, like some of my students that haven't done many recording sessions before. Obviously, if you haven't got all this equipment, you don't need to take it. But you know, this is the level where if you have it, you take it. You know, you want to be trying to aim for sounds, depending on your recording session. Some of you may just be in a punk band and want to get 5 songs down quick, and you don't need to be messing about with sounds. That's also fine. But I'm just showing you what I'm doing today. So the next bit of equipment that I'm going to take is this. My own stool. And my stool of choice at the minute is the A-Head Spinal Glide. This stool's done wonders for my back. And that's something that you don't really think about very much. If you're going to record, chances are it's probably going to be a long session. Today, I'll be getting there at 11. We're definitely not going to be leaving till 5. At the very earliest, 5. The only breaks we'll probably have will be to go into the control room and listen to what we've done. So you sat there a lot, you know, and a good stool is so important. I've had it where I've had like all day orchestral rehearsals and things where I use my old stool, and by halfway through the day you've got backache, your backside's aching, hurting, and it makes it miserable. You stop concentrating, you end up thinking more about your bad back than you do about your playing. So investing in a good stool is a really good idea, and then take it with you. I've paid this money for this stool, it's coming with me to the session. And next up, stick bag. Seems like, oh, stick bag, obviously you can take your own drumsticks, But my stick bag's got lots of different stuff in. So I've got mallets, really important if you're doing some soundscaping or you've got to do cymbal crashes. Brushes, I use 3 pairs of Vic Firth brushes, 3 different kinds. I'm going to do a different video talking through what I've got in my stick bag another time, but I just thought it's worth noting. Hot rods, different plastic brushes, especially on the thing when you're going through lots of sounds. And then Vic Firth, I use 5As, Vic Firth 5As, and I've got nylon tip and wood tip for recording. Sometimes a nylon tip's nice. I know a lot of people say, oh, you've got to use wood tip for recording. No, you haven't. There's no rules. You can use what you like. So I like to use both. I use both nylon tip and wood tip. I used to use the Carmine Paiste signature sticks for ages. So then you can turn them upside down and get that really fat backbeat on the back end. Sound amazing. I've got some lighter sticks, some 7A and some Peter Erskine jazz sticks. Next up, drum key. Don't forget your drum key. If you're going to record, got this little swizzler one so that I can do it quickly. I've got at least 10 drum keys on me at any one time. Don't forget your drum key if you're going to record. Chances are the studio will have one. Don't be the drummer asking for a drum key. Definitely don't do that. Next up, headphones. I've been using these Vic Firth isolation headphones for ages, so I'm quite used to them. I like them. Why not focusing? Come on, camera. Told you I can't work this equipment. Whatever. Blurry headphones. Make sure you take those. Oh, has that done it? Don't know. Yeah, Vic Firth isolation headphones are what I'm using at the minute. Chances are the studio will have headphones, but I've been in a few before that don't have ones that are really isolated. This one does. Obviously it's a great studio that we're going to. But if you're going to one that's not quite as good as this one, which happens, you know, you record at lots of different places, take your own headphones. If you've got isolation headphones. Next thing that you take, which you may not think about, next thing that I take, that you may not think about, manuscript paper. You know, like I said last time, we went through 8 songs, and with this band, there's no rehearsal. We just turn up. A lot of the songs I won't have heard. We've had one meet up before this recording session 2 days ago, and we just ended up eating pizza and chatting. He played us one song because it had a couple of odd time signatures and things in. So I had one listen through of that. I didn't write a chart out. And last time, being able to chart out songs quickly helped me so much. That's how we were able to get 8 songs done. Same with the bass player. He could write his own little charts. And it's such an important skill if you're going to be recording regularly. That's what I like doing. Always write my chart out, because then you're not guessing. You're not on stage in the studio. There's no one looking at you. So it doesn't matter if you're twirling your drumsticks. If you're looking cool, standing up, giving it the big one, like I normally do. In the studio, you can just have your head in the music. You can look at the music, be playing, see what's coming next. For drummers, our parts depend on the style of music. Even if it's difficult music, being able to write charts out is so important. You should definitely do it. You should definitely do it. Next thing, I've already said cymbals, so I'm not going to talk you through all those. Like I said, I'd be here for hours. I've already been rambling on for too long already. But I do take a lot of cymbals. Lots of different variety of cymbals. Dry, dark, trashy, jazzy. Any cymbals that I think of that could be used, I take. I've got like a massive hard case one that's full to the brim of different cymbals for all styles of music. So that's really good. I can do that. And then the other thing that I would take is my own bass drum pedal normally. I'm not going to do that today because I've used this kit before and I know that it's got a half decent pedal on it, so I don't really need to. But usually, you know, if I'm playing like a different style of music, I might take the double pedal, and it's good to have your own pedal to be used to it. But I've played on millions of drum kits, so I can pretty much play on any pedal now, and I know that theirs is decent. It's not like a cheap, nasty one. And the style of music that I'm playing today isn't going to require me to be able to play 8 bass drum hits in a row. really quickly or anything. It's just nice normal music, so I can play any pedal really for this, so that's what I'm going to do. I think I've said in-ear monitors, and then the next thing that I'm going to take is multiple percussion and effects. This is just cool, just to spice it up. A lot of studios have their own tambourines and stuff, but for me, because I record a lot here in my own little studio, I have a lot of sounds that I want to use, and if I left and didn't have one of my shakers or something, it'd stress me out. I like to have my sounds that I know there with me. So I'll just show you a few of the effects that I take with me. I'm just going to quickly move, this is going to make a right racket. Apologies for that. So first of all, tambourine. But this isn't a tambourine that you shake, it's more a drum set tambourine. So it's just nice for that kind of effect. Other tambourine, I've got this Meinl Ching ring. Sound really great on a hi-hat, so that's the effect you're going for. Got an LP Cyclops tambourine. Better put them down or else you're going to have tambourine jingling all over the video. This is cool because you can close it and it doesn't make a noise, and then you open it and it doesn't make a noise. It's just a different option, different sounds that you can use on the hi-hat if you need to. And then I've got, this is my latest acquisition, which is really cool. I love this. The big fat snare drum. I don't know what they call it. It's probably got a fancy name like a bling ring or something. I don't know. But it's awesome. It's got like a different jingle on it. So I've been using that, it's a bit more trashy. And then I've got this Meinl one that is battered. Look at all the tape on it because I've broken it at gigs. And that one sits on the snare drum, so if you want some jingles that just go when you do a snare drum hit, that's really cool. And I've got Meinl Sizzler for the ride cymbal if I need it. I end up using that quite a bit actually. A nice little effect. And I've got two more of these in my stick bag that I use. I just thought I'd get one out just to show you. Shakers. I've got two of these Louise Conte Meinl shakers. They're lovely. Beautiful. I've got one that's a little bit heavier than that I normally use live, but in the studio I prefer that one. And then egg shakers. I've got 4 Meinl ones, extra loud, medium, loud, soft, and then a cheap one. It's always nice to have shakers, and I like taking multiple ones because then you can mix them up if you want to do more than one. They sound awesome. And the last thing is Moongel, or what I use, Slapcats. I prefer Slapcats to Moongel because they come in different sizes. You're not going to be able to see this, don't matter. They've got big ones, little ones, every different kind. So you can just dampen it. If your snare drum's just got a little bit of ring and you want to dampen it, you don't need to be cutting up Moongel in the middle. You just use different size Slapcats. They're great. I really like them. And I've got 2 lots of those, so if I need like loads of dampening, especially today because I'm not using my kit, it might not be tuned to how I like, so that's why I'm taking the drum kit, that's why I'm taking the Slapcat, so that I can get my own sounds. Same with the snare drum. If you've got a snare drum that sounds great in this room, but I get to their room and it's a little bit unruly, put the Slapcats on and it gets rid of the ring beautifully. And I take a big fat snare drum as well, you know, the big one that goes on the snare drum. They're always great to have around, just to change the sound as well. It's like it gives you a whole different snare drum on your different ones. I've got that 14-inch, so all of my 14-inch snare drums can have that. You can use it on the low tom as well. Makes it really dead. It sounds great. Now, if you're recording at a studio and you're using your own kit, obviously you've got to take everything. You've got to take all your own kit and everything. But like I say, in this session, I'm lucky because they've got a beautiful Ludwig kit that's already set up, ready to go. And I'm just going to be changing the snare drums and the pedals, and it will sound amazing. Really excited, I'm looking forward to it. I've got this meeting first, so I'm going to have to get off now, and I'll catch up with you again later. I've realised that this video's gone on ages now. I keep looking at the time that I've been talking, so I may have to do it in 2 separate videos. I might just do a video on what I'm taking to the studio, and then do a video on how it actually goes on the day. So this may just be part 1, and then I might have to do a part 2 as well. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, I might do that. Quite like the sound of that. Oh, also important, if you're taking your own kit, make sure you've got a good rug. I've done it before where I've gone to a studio and they've got wood floors. Don't know what that's all about in this day and age. It was quite a few years ago, to be honest, but yeah, make sure you take a carpet. You don't want your bass drum sliding away when you're doing it. This studio has amazing microphones as well, so I'm really excited to show you some of that. Last time he went to town on it, he put loads of different microphones on the drums. Really nice quality microphones. He gets great drum sounds. It's a brilliant place for a drummer, and he's such a good engineer as well. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's called Superfly Studios in Ollerton.